How to get a cleaner reverb with r-verb in FL Studio. Right here we have a choir and it just sounds like it's cutting off before it loops again. So what I want to do is I want to find an empty track and I'm going to label that verb choir, okay? I'm going to go to my sound, whatever yours is, mine's a choir, and I'm going to link it to this track. Okay, you just click on the up arrow. Now that's linked. So it's a double signal right now. I like to keep it neat, so I'm gonna dock this to the right. Seeing how it's a double signal, it's gonna come through twice as loud. But once you put a reverb on here, we're using r-verb in this case. Once you put a reverb on here, the wet is all the way up, so you're not getting a full dry signal. You're getting a signal that's in the background. With r-verb or any other reverb that you use, this will work. Leave the wet at 100. That's important because you don't want a double full dry signal. When it's wet, it's kind of shimmering in the background. And you can adjust your time. This is a faster beat. It's 160 BPM. So I might just leave that time at 240. I might bring it down to 230. We'll see. For the size, I like to go maybe about 90. If you feel like you're getting too much reverb with this, you can bring this down to about 80. Okay? But don't touch the wet and dry. You want to leave that at 100. I go to dampening and I lower the dampen on the low end of this because I don't want all that junk coming up. So I'll lower that a pretty good amount. I like to kind of leave it where it is. If you notice that you're still getting some junk, you can move this over to the right like that. But I tend to leave this where it is. I don't touch the high for the dampening on this. And we go to EQ, right? In our r-verb, and I grab this low end and I bring this all the way up, maybe past 600 or 700. That's where a lot of junk is. Sometimes I'll actually even push this to 1,000. So right now I'm gonna push this to 1,000. The high end, it looks like it's cutting off at 5,700. I'm gonna pull this down. I don't want to shimmer on this, so I'll just drag your mouse all the way down. And I might bring this down to just before 5,000 so we don't get that high sibilance and all that other junk, okay? And now we'll get levels. Play it and then pause it quickly. You'll hear the reverb shimmering out. If you can't hear your reverb shimmering out, turn it up. If it's too loud, turn it down. Okay, definitely some junk in there. When I cleaned this choir up, I took some junk out of the lower end of this sample. And it looks like the junk I had was at 496 and there was some stuff in 374. This is how you get a cleaner reverb. Take these frequencies out of your reverb too. That's why we made this reverb on its own track, so we can do things like this. Now, you could copy this right out of the mixer, click on the down arrow, and then click and hold where it says save preset as. Make sure you hold it, okay? And you drop it right on your reverb track. Now I have the exact EQ from my sound, but it's on my reverb. And that's where the junk was. Now it's even taking more junk out of the reverb because the signals are gonna, they're gonna be delayed. So those signals are still gonna come through and it can definitely add junk. You can do this to your vocals as well. I don't have any junk there because I actually cut the reverb in itself. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag this over where the low end starts on my reverb. Okay. It should sound a lot cleaner in the context of the mix now.